All right, welcome on in everyone to this episode of First CSP. If you are new to the channel, we are dedicated to bringing you the first council shoulder patch issued from each council in Scouting America, both past and present. We have new episodes out every single day. Today we'll take a look at Scioto Area 457 out of Ohio. The council was originally formed as a name change in 1931 from Scioto County 457, and then lasted up until 1993 when it merged with Central Ohio and Chief Logan councils to form Simon Kenton 441. We have already highlighted the Chief Logan first issue on the channel, so you can check that episode out after this one if you'd like. Let's head on over to the patch table and look at the first issue. Now, the first issue for Scioto area did actually come in three variations, the T1A, B, and C. We are going to be able to highlight all three of them and kind of compare and contrast them today, starting out with on the patch table the T1A, defined by its white border, light blue background, gold mylar fleur-de-lis. It does state that there is a silver mylar strand in the gold mylar fine thread and very thin gold letters. Now, fortunately for us, one of the differentiating factors between this T1A and the T1B and C is that the B and C both were produced with plastic backs, and that is defined in the collector's guide, so it helps us identify when we do have a T1B and C. We are going to note some differences in the color of the bird as well as the letters. You can see here on the back the T1A did come with kind of the traditional gauze cloth backing, and it is going to have, as was listed at the end of the description, the thinnest gold mylar letters of any of the three variations, T1A, B, or C. So we'll be able to look at these letters and see that they are considerably thinner than the two issues that come after it. All right, so that is the T1A. We'll do side-by-sides, but let's just first look here at the T1B. T1B listed as having also a white border, light blue background, gold mylar fleur-de-lis, gold letters. They also list it has a plain plastic back, which we'll take a look at in a moment, and the length of the states from Ohio to Kentucky is going to be 85 to 87 millimeters. So let's take a look at that. It is going to be one of the defining characteristics when we look at differentiating T1Bs and T1Cs, although there is enough visual evidence you can usually tell as well. So here we have our little ruler. We can see we're starting 0 over at the O for Ohio, and just past the Y in Kentucky, you see we're right there at 85, 86, 87 millimeters. When we look at the back, it does have that plain plastic back as was listed in the description. Now, in comparing the three patches in total, we are going to find that the T1B most closely approximates the T1A. The T1C really looks different, quite different. But if we note on the T1A, the original first issue up here, we're going to have pretty defined ridges that are the grain for the twill backing. And we have fairly identifiable grain twill ridges in the T1B reproduction as well. Now, obviously, as was stated, the thinnest letters are on the T1A, and we see we get kind of much thicker and somewhat raised letters in the embroidery on the T1B. Also, what stands out to me the most is the darkness of the bird on the T1B. It is considerably darker than the T1A. Obviously, if you can see the back and know that you have a plastic back, that would automatically rule that you're dealing with a T1B or a T1C. All right, let's take a look at the last one, which is the T1C. The T1C is listed as a reproduction that was produced by Central Ohio in 1993. It does have a white border, a light blue background, gold mylar letters, gold mylar fleur-de-lis, and is listed as a reproduction. What's interesting is they still, in the collection guide, list this as T1C under Scioto area. It's not listed as a TU, dash A, as most reproductions are. I don't, sometimes there's inconsistencies in the collecting guide. I don't really know what drives that or why that hasn't been changed to a TU issue since it is a known reproduction. But that's how it's listed currently. It's still listed as a T1C. We're going to see it looks decidedly different. It's much larger. From Ohio to Kentucky, we have now a length on those states at 97, so considerably longer than the 87 on the T1B. So if we put our 0, let's see if I can hold this. So we can put the 0 on the O, and you see we are all the way out here. Oops. Out to 95 or so. They list it as 97, but you can see it is much larger. Also, the shape of the patch has much more rounded corners than the original. Let's put the T1A back up here as well. It does a little bit better job of approximating the color of the bird, although it too appears a little darker brown. This is more like a red brown to me when looking at them in comparison. One of the other aspects that's decidedly different is it's a much stronger grain texture in the twill on the original. This is one of those almost non-directional twills because it's so fine. If we look at the back, again, it is a plastic back. Here we see that it is plastic back, but it also has a backing material that's white, which makes it very easy to, if you can see the back of the patch, to differentiate it from the T1B. If we compare the bird on the T1B, let's look at the colors here. It does appear that the darkest is going to be the T1B. So my patch kind of, they don't like to sit on top of each other. The darkest is the T1B. The most kind of red lightest is the T1A. And kind of somewhere in between the two is going to be your T1C 1993 reproduction. We will go ahead and file this episode in with our playlist of known reproductions, as they do list the T1C specifically as a reproduction. We have a playlist that sets aside all the issues where we've been able to compare known reproductions with the authentic first issues. So if that's something that's interesting to you, you can go to that playlist and search through all those episodes. We pulled all of them out for easy access. Hopefully you have found this to be entertaining and informative. We'll be back again tomorrow with another new episode. But until then, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.